You burst through the locked double doors of the guest bedroom. You don't just interrupt a recording session. You trip blindly over a thick industrial power cable and completely demolish a $3,000 studio lighting rig. You crash hard onto the hardwood floor, sending a dozen brightly colored silicone props scattering. But your mother doesn't scramble for a blanket to cover up. She is sitting astride a leather saddle chair, wearing a skin-tight latex police uniform with handcuffs dangling from her wrist, completely mid-performance for a live feed of premium subscribers. She doesn't panic. She doesn't even blink. She simply adjusts her police cap, looks dead into the surviving camera lens with a flawless, ice-cold smirk, and purrs, "Looks like a trespasser just crashed the interrogation, boys. Tip $100 to see how Officer Mommy handles juvenile delinquents." Welcome to being the child of an OnlyFans creator. Forget the traditional family dynamics where your parents argue about mortgage payments or whose turn it is to do the dishes. You have spawned into a hyper-monetized, deeply bizarre reality where your childhood home isn't a safe space. It is a 24/7 digital brothel, and you are the unpaid logistics manager. You aren't just crashing sets. You are handling the customer service inbox. You sit at your laptop, drinking from a juice box, replying to a 50-year-old accountant in Ohio who is furiously demanding a refund because the bathwater he bought wasn't murky enough. You type out a flirtatious message using her authorized emoji keyboard, promising to make it up to him. You hit send, take a sip of apple juice, and open your history textbook. It's the modern digital era. In a saturated market where thousands of creators are fighting for the attention of lonely internet strangers, your mother has discovered that the suburban MILF aesthetic is an absolute goldmine. But running an adult empire from a 4-bedroom house completely obliterates the concept of a normal childhood. You don't have morning cartoons. You have a highly strict, terrifying morning protocol. You walk into the kitchen at 7 a.m. to get a bowl of cereal. Your mother is standing at the stove making eggs, but she is wearing 7-inch clear acrylic heels, a skin-tight latex corset, and heavy stage makeup. She casually tells you to have a great day at middle school while adjusting a leather strap on her thigh. You grab your bowl, open your bedroom door, and immediately scan the hallway like a soldier navigating a minefield. You have to carefully step over industrial-sized extension cords and dodge massive umbrella lights left next to your cereal bowl. But the props aren't the worst part. Sitting at your kitchen island is a massive, heavily tattooed, shirtless man you have never seen before. He gives you a dark, knowing smirk. He takes a bite out of your Pop-Tart, and he casually asks if your mom is done setting up the ring lights in the master bedroom. He doesn't just eat your food. He tries to offer you completely deranged, hyper-masculine life advice while wearing nothing but a leather harness and combat boots. "Stay in school, kid," he grunts, wiping strawberry frosting off his chin. "And always stretch before a double booking." You just nod slowly. You are receiving fatherly wisdom from a man whose legal name on his W-2 tax form is the Punisher. You grab your backpack and run if you accidentally walk into the living room while the red recording light is on above the door. You don't just get yelled at. You get a frantic, furious text from your mother. She tells you that you just ruined a $500 custom video for a guy who has a specific fantasy about her being completely alone in the house. So you retreat to your room to study. You are sitting at your desk, desperately trying to focus on your math homework. But you can't, because the entire house has been converted into a non-stop corporate production floor, and the baseline static of your childhood is just endless commercial chatter and studio noise. But here's the absolute darkest, mind-bending psychological twist that makes your domestic reality so uniquely horrifying. You actually need her to keep filming. Being the child of a top 0.1% creator means you live in a multi-million-dollar modern fortress with a heated infinity pool and a private chef. She isn't just your mother. She is your landlord, your executive producer, and your literal trust fund. Rejecting her lifestyle wouldn't just mean a grounded weekend. If she loses her top spenders because she has to spend time actually parenting you, the income dries up. And if the income dries up, you are traded from a luxury penthouse back to a cramped apartment. That latex-wearing entrepreneur is the only thing keeping your lifestyle inflating. So when the heavy blackout curtains seal your house off from the outside world, the rent for your luxury lifestyle is aggressively collected. Negotiation is a myth. Privacy does not exist. You must perform your household chores with unquestioning compliance, and your chores are a psychological nightmare. Your weekly grocery runs are a public psychological torture test. You push the shopping cart while your mother tosses in milk, 5 bottles of chocolate syrup, a bulk pack of heavy-duty zip ties, and a suspiciously large eggplant. You stand at the checkout line praying the cashier doesn't ask questions. But your mom doesn't just buy it quietly. She demands a categorized receipt. She aggressively argues with the cashier that the chocolate syrup and zip ties are a Schedule C tax-deductible business expense. You pull your hoodie over your head, staring at the floor, realizing your childhood breakfast is subsidizing a heavily monetized fetish video. When you get home, you aren't mowing the lawn. You are forced to sit at the kitchen island, meticulously vacuum sealing tiny glass jars of her bathwater so they don't leak during transit. You are untangling 50-foot microphone cables. You are silently taking out the trash at 2 a.m. because it's filled with empty lingerie boxes, and she doesn't want the neighbors asking questions. But the true, visceral horror of the channel blueprint hits the exact second her camera clicks off. The fun, flirty, dominant internet persona instantly vanishes. The dynamic violently flips. Your mother doesn't thank you for packing the orders. She immediately transforms into a terrifying, cold-blooded Wall Street sociopath, having a total meltdown. She throws her $800 smartphone directly at the pristine white drywall because her top-spending whale subscriber just canceled his $2,000 monthly auto-renew. For 2 straight hours, she paces the kitchen, crying hysterically and hyperventilating because she is convinced she is getting too old, and her career is completely over. The wealthy digital mogul who just spent the afternoon selling adult fantasies for profit is now a fragile, deeply insecure wreck, demanding emotional validation from a 12-year-old. And your arms wrap around her. Because they have to. You must provide deeply mature psychological therapy to an adult whose entire self-worth is dictated by the credit card limits of divorced men on the internet. It is a non-consensual counseling session, surrounded by tripods and shipping labels. You try to survive middle school, but the threat level is always at a code red. You're sitting in the cafeteria, eating a pizza slice, when a kid named Tyler sits across from you. Tyler doesn't ask for your lunch money. He slides his phone across the table. It's a countdown timer on an airdrop blast to every single iPhone in the cafeteria, loaded with a leaked, uncensored clip from your mother's VIP-only feed. He demands you do his science homework for a month, or he hits send. You are 12 years old, and you are currently negotiating a high-stakes blackmail crisis over a carton of chocolate milk. You agree to do the homework, because you have to. Later that week, you go to a parent-teacher conference. Your mother, dressed in designer clothes, asks your male history teacher about your failing grade. The teacher is sweating completely through his shirt. He refuses to make eye contact. His hands are visibly shaking as he hands over your report card. The absolute paralyzing realization hits you like a freight train. He isn't nervous because she is beautiful. He is nervous because he is in her top 1% of monthly spenders, and he just realized you have his IP address. The psychological whiplash makes you feel like your brain is slowly melting out of your ears. But it gets even more deranged. The dynamic violently flips when you get back to the car. Your mother isn't embarrassed or horrified that your educator is buying her content. She's thrilled. She hands you a pen and a blank card and forces you to write him a glowing, "Thank you for being a great teacher" note. Why? Because she is going to slip a printed 20% discount code for her VIP tier into the envelope to maximize his customer lifetime value. You are forced to provide corporate synergy to a sociopath. Years grind by. You master the art of total, invisible numbness. But in the influencer ecosystem, your utility as a background prop has a strict, non-negotiable expiration date. The exact second you turn 18, you are no longer a cute kid who can be conveniently hidden away. You are an adult man taking up space in her content studio. On the morning of your 18th birthday, she calls you into the kitchen. She doesn't give you a heartfelt speech about going off to college. She doesn't hand you the keys to a car. She slides a 50-page, legally binding non-disclosure agreement across the marble island. She casually informs you that if you ever speak to a journalist or post a TikTok about this house, her corporate lawyers will bankrupt you. But she doesn't hand you the NDA. She slides an itemized spreadsheet across the table. It calculates how much money her channel lost in organic reach during the 3 weeks she had to take off when you got the chickenpox in 5th grade. She considers your existence a depreciating asset. Your corporate restructuring is finalized. You have to sit there, gripping a pen so hard your knuckles turn white, staring at the woman who monetized every aspect of your life. You want to scream. You want to run blindly out the front door and never look back. But the digital lifestyle she built has left you completely incapable of surviving in the real world. You are completely paralyzed by the golden, highly monetized cage you were raised in. You sign the paper. You lower your eyes. You survive it. You endure it. But you never, ever escape it.